All right. Welcome, parents and families, teachers, staff, and all of our friends. We're so excited to be here and so excited to be a part of the senior portfolio presentations for our seniors. It's such a special occasion. It's a special event that is distinctive to the Daniel Academy. And like Jonathan said earlier, it is actually very intimate, and we get to hear from each graduate. So it's very special, and I just love, love, love this event. To start us off in our ceremony, we have our salutatorian give their speech first. And so for this year, we have Jeremiah Arthur, and he will come and give his speech.
What's up, guys? How you doing? Right. Do I just start? Am I going? Okay. Looking back at freshman me, I don't think anyone would have expected me to be up here giving this speech. Looking at me now, I might not be a whole lot taller, but the real growth might be a little bit less surface level. Regardless, I'm beyond thankful that the person standing here now is very different from freshman me. At this school, valedictorian and salutatorian are not only based on GPA, but on classes taken and the overall involvement around the school. Even though the class of 2021 is small, there weren't a whole lot of options. Salutatorian is still a huge honor, and I'm so thankful to everybody who made it possible. The teachers at this school are the most involved, loving teachers you could possibly find. I challenge you to find anyone as selfless as many of the teachers we have here, so thank you to the teachers. Thank you to the other staff. You guys are so committed to each and every one of us, and you guys help us no matter what in our lives constantly. I want to give a massive thank you to my parents for never once getting mad or making me feel less than for not doing well in anything in school. You guys made it possible for me to want to do well in such a gentle way. It might just be my personality, but I realized pretty early that achievements or awards or any other kind of recognition wasn't something that I planned on striving for. Oftentimes, I would stray too far the other direction and find myself giving no effort towards something I definitely should have been more invested in. But after dancing around that truth for a while, I realized that as long as I was doing my best and giving everything I had, God doesn't ask for anything more. If God is happy with where I'm at, there's no achievement, no award, no recognition that could possibly make me happier than that reality. I honestly hadn't thought about my GPA compared to anybody else's until a couple days before the awards ceremony, when somebody said something about me possibly getting salutatorian. This wasn't really something I'd set my hopes on. After all, it's been said that second place is just the number one loser. Even though I wasn't gunning for this, it's something I can be proud of, and it's something I'm very thankful for. God doesn't reward achievement, he rewards wholeheartedness and selflessness. I'm not saying that by any means I have this close, or I'm not close to having this down, but that's the course that I've started to set my life on, and it's something that I plan to fight to live out for the rest of my life. So being generous with your time and your money and any resource God gives you is the most important thing you can do. If you do that, then everything else will come. Many of you have probably heard me jokingly say, or non-jokingly say, you aren't that big of a deal. But it's true. Don't take yourself too seriously. You aren't a big deal, but you can have a huge impact on other people, so choose to give everything you have. You can still live out excellence in your own life while being generous with your time. If at the end of your life, all you have are the trophies that you sacrifice your relationships for, I promise you, you'll regret it. So thank you again. It's truly an honor to graduate with you guys. So heed the words of your number one loser, live selflessly, excellently, and don't take yourselves too seriously. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremiah. That was awesome. All right. Now, the next step, we're going to have all of our seniors come up one by one, and we're going to go alphabetically backwards. If that makes sense. Or else Jeremiah would be next. And so we're just going to start with Trinity. I wanted to explain a little bit about what this looks like for our senior portfolios. Each senior will get 10 minutes, and Ms. Jasmine right there will be our timer. Senior will come on up, and they will give their speech between 3 to 5 minutes. After they're done, our little panel right here will speak into their lives. We'll ask them questions, we'll give them a prophetic word, and we just want to bless them. So that's kind of how it will work. We're adding something different to our senior portfolios this year. There are pink cards being passed around, or they're sitting on chairs. If you guys feel that you get a word for the senior, will you please write it on this card for them, because I know they would love to receive the word. And just make sure you write down your name and the date so they remember and they have it forever. And at the end, you can go ahead and give it to them, or you can put it up here and we will give it to them. Okay? All right. You guys ready? This is a very special event. This is the beginning of our whole graduation celebration. We're super excited. So Trinity Smithson.
So much for best for last. When I walked through these doors 13 years ago, I had not a single clue. I had no idea that this old, kind of gross building would become my home, that these amazing people would become my family, and that I would become who I am today. Never in my wildest dreams could my 5-year-old self have imagined how beautiful and full this journey was going to be. Almost every day for the past year, as having to leave was approaching, I've stepped back to watch. As I have observed, I am still convinced there is no place, and never will be a place, like the Daniel Academy. Growing up here, I have learned so much, not only academically, but about who God is. My relationship with Him began here as I fell in love with Him in this very room. I learned to give Him all of me, even if it felt weak and insignificant. His faithfulness was put on display right in front of my eyes over and over again. He is so good, and we have tasted of it together. This past year in Senior Foundations, we dove deep into the process of discovering who God said that we were as we looked back on our lives. Throughout that, I wrote my life message. In a nutshell, my story with Jesus was me really just wrestling to believe that He really was who He said that He was. I thought I had to fix myself before I could receive His love. I went through a long process of learning to let Him have all of my heart, and in that, I was reintroduced to His love that meets me right where I am. His ways and plans will always be higher and better than my own. We then moved into learning about our spiritual giftings through taking tests, reading various packets and notes, and then eventually mapping everything out on a Venn diagram. This wasn't another random online personality test. This was who God decided that I was going to be, because He knew what my life would look like and what I would be doing. There was such a nearness of the Lord in this process. It was very intimate for me. I feel like I touched a different part of the heart of the Father in this process. The Lord spent time dreaming and creating me to be the way that I am with the things that I have, because He knew. He knew what life would look like for me. As I am walking out in my giftings, I am bringing one of the highest honors to the Lord that I could ever bring. As I'm faithful to steward the gifts that He gave me, my heart has and will continue to come alive. Some of the giftings I know the Lord gave me are mercy, serving, exhortation, and pastoring. Once again, I see how purposeful Jesus is, as a lot of these things I was able to use and develop in my internship this past year. I've been working with a certified midwife here in Kansas City who has her own practice. Everything had just fallen into place a few months before the school year had actually started. She wanted some help due to an injury, and I wanted to learn. So now, a year and a half later, I've met hundreds of incredible families and been invited into their homes as they have walked through pregnancy, birth, and postpartum. I also obtained my neonatal resuscitation certification in December, which completed my training to be a certified birth assistant. I don't really know exactly when my love for birth started. I just remember being so fascinated by it, especially after I went to my first birth at 15. I remember thinking that it was one of the most incredible things I had ever experienced. The love that a mother is overcome with when she has her baby placed on her chest just blows me away every time, and I see a glimpse of Jesus. Through every part of this beautiful process, He is intricately intertwined, and I think that's why I love it so much. As for what's next, this is the hardest question for me. I want to do all the things. During our prophetic prayer a month ago, Brian, one of the guys who came along with Ed Hackett to prophesy over us, he was sharing a picture he got of me on a zip line. He said 1 minute I was on one platform, and then the next minute I was on another platform. He felt like throughout my life this would be the case. I'd be doing something somewhere, and then the Lord would call me somewhere else to do something, and there I would be. This gave me so much peace knowing everything I want to do. I dream of being married and being a mom one day, having my own classroom and teaching elementary, delivering babies, working in ministry, and a lot more. But as of now, I'm planning on getting my nursing degree at UMKC and then possibly my master's in midwifery to become a certified nurse midwife. I'm still praying about taking a semester off or year off to do YWAM, so I'm definitely leaving that door open to hear from the Lord. I'm just trusting that He will lead me to do what I need to do when I need to do in each season, and as long as I'm being faithful in those times, it's going to be great. There are some very special people who poured into my life, and I want to highlight and acknowledge those people. I know that none of what I'm saying could have happened without them. In elementary, Mrs. Hibbard was there every step of the way. She saw a gift in me and not only gave me the space to practice it, she cultivated that gift inside of me. Mr. Edler, Mr. Elliott, Mr. Olvera, and Miss Starnes gave us the best junior high years ever. 8th grade was one of my most favorite years at this school. Though she is not physically with us today, as she passed away when we were in our sophomore year, Mrs. Zuka made me feel as though I could do anything in the world. One day she came into class with these poster boards and a pile of magazines, and she dropped them on the floor and she said, "Dream." These teachers had a dedication to their jobs like I had never seen before. Mr. Collins has walked with us since our first year of high school. Whether he was coming out to lunch with us on senior Wednesdays or we were sitting in his hot tub at his house, Mr. Collins gave all of himself to his job. He has seen the worst and the best of our moments and still loved us. When I walked into Mr. Hibbs' English class 2 years ago, I was terrified. Not only did he look like a scary guy, I had heard story after story from the previous juniors and seniors of the homework he gave and the way he ran his classroom. Come to find out, those were pranks he was playing on them and he really thought he was funny. These past 2 years in English class, Mr. Hibbs has inspired me. Every day he has a new lecture about how you can do whatever you want to do as long as you set your mind to it, and you have perseverance and lean deep into the Lord and His Word. He also embarked on Lions Week with us this past April, where many fun memories are made, especially at Buc-ee's. I guess Mr. Hibbs really isn't scary after all. Miss Donut Fraser and Miss Jessie are some of my favorite women. I love seeing them as I walk down the hallway because they're the first ones to share a smile. Miss Jessie, for the last 2 years, has been teaching a class all about the beauty that God has placed inside of us as women and as men. And through that, her passion and insight on that topic has been more than contagious and inspiring to my heart. Miss Lee and Miss Jasmine, I've never met two women who are as devoted and excellent in all they do as you two. You guys are the ones here until 4 a.m. doing what needs to be done. You're at every soccer game, every event, and every assembly. The reason this school is running is because of you guys. My mom and dad are two of my most favorite people, championing me into who I am. They have been here for everything and every step of my life. Don't worry, Mom, I won't move out till I'm 37. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to every teacher and faculty member who has been a part of my journey. I will never forget you guys and the outstanding impact you've had on my life. Words can never come close to adequately describing how much love I carry for the Daniel Academy. I'm walking away with a heart full to the brim of priceless memories I will one day tell my children about. Closing this chapter of my life is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, but I cannot begin to imagine the things the Lord has.
Okay, Trinity. Is this on? Yeah. Well, where's Kari and Glenn? I'll be shocked if she makes it 3 months at home, because I think she's going to get married, you know. So 37. Sure, yeah. Lots of guys. So, Trin, yeah, this has been a wonderful, wonderful time being here with you guys, this class that I started in 9th grade for English, and I can't believe you guys are going. But I just am so grateful to hear all of the things that you're saying about the Father. and that he loves you and he made you just the way you are, and you're accepting that, and that you're believing that you're going to do all that you want to do. You don't just have to choose one thing or, get it perfect or get it right, but you are going to do everything. It's going to be great.
How many days left do you have until you can date? I'm playing. Trinity, I was praying for you, and I just heard the word fisher of men. I feel like the Lord has given you a heart of evangelism and a gift of evangelism. And I don't know if that is in the context of full-time ministry or not, and it doesn't matter if it's in the context of full-time ministry or not. Wherever you are, wherever the Lord has you, he's given you a heart and a gifting to be a fisher of men and women, of mankind. I believe that the Lord is going to draw people to you, that you are going to shine for him.
Actually, it's really interesting Mr. Hibbs said that, because that was the same sense I had when I was praying for you, that you are, there's a reason you're drawn to birth. And it's not just human birth, but spiritual birth. And your middle name, did you know this, means Noel, means to be born. And as I was praying for you, I was just reminded of Elizabeth, one of my absolute favorite people in the Bible, Elizabeth. Because when Mary goes to visit Elizabeth, Elizabeth speaks life and confirmation to this massive thing that's happening to Mary. And I think that you have it in you, that ability to speak life and truth into what's happening for others. So I actually see so much that you will see birth all around you, whether you're doing midwifery or whether you're just speaking words of life into others and watching them be born again. I think that's part of what you will do, no matter what platform your zip line brings you to.
Okay. I've just loved watching you grow in stature and in the Lord. You have grown so beautifully, physically, and just in your character. So, so beautiful. And you've allowed yourself to hold on to him tighter. You've allowed yourself to root deeper in him, which means you're able to radiate that much more beauty and glory. And I just see a sunflower blooming so beautifully when turned towards the sun, and you've done that. I've seen you just look at the Lord, look at Jesus, and you are radiant. And I really feel this verse for you. It will be a lifelong verse for you, Psalms 34:5. Those who look to him are radiant. Their faces are never covered with shame. This is you, Trinity. You will continue to be radiant and radiate the glory of Jesus wherever you go, no matter what you do. The plans the Lord has for you is unimaginable. And I can't wait to hear about you and watch how you're going to shine in the nations, in your classroom, in your home, and in birthing rooms. I love you. Okay. All right, Julian Smithson.
Good afternoon. It was my wedding day. I shared this dream in my life message, and there's a wedding day coming, and we must know Christ. I've been here at TDA for 13 years, and I think the most impactful thing at TDA is the opportunity to seek God. And like with all of us, we've had the opportunity with meditations and journals with Miss Lee's class and Bible class, and you can really go through the motions and get nowhere. But if you really go after it, you can go somewhere, and that somewhere is much deeper in God. Some places do not offer this opportunity. Very, very few other schools, I've talked to other friends who go to different Christian schools, and they might do assemblies once a week. But here at TDA, we do worship every single day, Monday through Thursday. And I think that's really, really awesome. And that's just great because God's so worthy of our praise, and I'm really glad we were able to do that. So the most impactful thing for me at TDA is opportunity to spend time with God, and just the leadership from all the adults and teachers, and then just my awesome, encouraging classmates and everyone else here. You guys are awesome. For internship this year, I got the opportunity to work with the YWAM maintenance team and to co-teach junior high PE with Jack. So that was really awesome. At the YWAM maintenance team, we just did various maintenance things. We painted walls, refinished roads, random things like that, gutters, leaves. And I did that, and I think the coolest thing about that was just getting to meet new people, new faces, and got to understand YWAM culture a little bit better. And then with PE this year, I'd just say I love the junior high 6th and 7th grade class. They were awesome. Every day I look forward to PE. I had so much fun. All the kids, I'm gonna miss them so much. We had so much fun. Probably one of the highlights of my year was doing that. So I'm super glad for that. We just played games and I don't know, joked around with the kids and did hard work sometimes, and it was a ton of fun. And then in foundations class this year, we really dived deep into personality and spiritual giftings. And I think what I found out about myself, my main spiritual gifts were serving, giving, and evangelism. And I think that was really cool just because as you get older, you can learn to develop those gifts. And and slowly they'll connect and you'll just grow as a person and in the Lord. So I want to thank all my teachers for their kindness, patience, and wisdom. I so appreciate all of their perspectives and their love for God. Like Mr. Collins, Mr. Hibbs, Miss Jessie, like they're so different. Like all my teachers are so different, but they're all amazing and awesome. And I'm so thankful for them. I want to thank the Smalls and the Lees. TDA wouldn't be the same without you guys. You guys have done so much for it. And then I want to thank my parents, my mom. I love her very much. And I want to thank my parents for just raising me and showing me how to love God. Thank you.
Am I on? No, there we go. Well, Julian, I've so enjoyed having you in class too. You know, you and Trinity together have just been pure entertainment for me throughout the years. You know, Trinity mothering you in class and me having to set good boundaries with her and, you know, and her saying something that you didn't approve of and, you know, you correcting her. So that's been fun. But Julian, you know, you are such the word that comes to mind when I think of you is loyal. You're such a loyal personality, a loyal friend. You are trustworthy. You're a hard worker. You are, I mean, I just can see you working hard and leading, and I love seeing you do the PE this year too, because you know you and Jack were just loving the kids, and my son was telling me about PE and how much fun that was. And so, you know, Julian, I think it was last year you told me the story about how you felt the Father's love for you, and that was a highlight of my relationship with you because it changed you, and that's going to keep coming. And I want you to keep seeking it. And I just believe the Lord's going to pour his love into you. And you're just going to grow in love. And you're going to be like him as you love others.
Sweet, thank you.
Julian, it's been just a pleasure to watch the Lord work in you and grow in you this year. I've loved watching your heart for the Lord this year. I've loved the small conversations we've had before and after class. It's about what the Lord's doing in your life. You know, as I was praying for you, I just really felt like the Lord has education in store for you. I don't know what that's going to look like. I know that you have a brilliant mind. I know you have an absolutely brilliant mind. I know the Lord wants to use that. I don't know what that education is going to look like, but I know that the Lord has got years of education in store for you, and I believe that the Lord wants to use that heart, but also that brilliant mind that he's given you for his glory.
Sweet, thank you.
Hi.
Hi, Miss Jessie.
I have missed you in class. It's been a long time. But I want you to know that I have seen you change this year in ways that are so profound. And I don't know if you can see it because you're busy growing. You know how you don't know that you're growing when you're growing. You are a different man than you were a year and a half ago. And I see it in the way you care for the people around you. And it's really profound, and it's beautiful. And I know I've heard, you talk about how you're waking up to the love of God and you're waking up to the love of Scripture, and it is changing you. And you are in the act of becoming, and it's awesome, awesome, awesome to see. So I just want to bless that in you. I see you growing. When I was praying for you, all sorts of scripture about wisdom came up, like go ahead and have fun in Proverbs. The whole thing is all about wisdom. But I was looking for some verse in Proverbs, you'll appreciate this, that talks about being open to correction, which I think you are. And I found Proverbs 12:1. You're going to like this. It says, whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but he who hates correction is stupid. So bless you as you grow. You have that. I mean, honestly, that is the thing. You are open to growth now in a way I never saw before when you were a 10th grader, 9th grader. So it's really, really awesome.
Thank you.
Julian, I just feel like truth is very important to you. And I wonder if it will become even more so. Just the truth of who God is. And I feel like there will be times where you'll hear other people say things about God that are not truthful. And it'll grieve your heart. It'll grieve your spirit. And you'll be like, you'll want to correct that. And I just feel like there will be a grace for you to gently but strongly establish truth in other people's lives. And I agree with everything else they've said. Mrs. Jesse is right. You are a different person this year. Not that you were a bad person before, but nowadays when I see you, there's just such a joy. It's like, oh, Julian's here. This is fantastic. And congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Julian. I said, you have upheld a new standard for TDA. I'm completely undone by what the Father has done in your life. He has put fire in you and rooted you in His Word. There is nothing more awesome than that. And you're not just one that goes on emotions, but you're rooting yourself in the knowledge of the Word. And this fire, because of that, will be a steady fire, and it's impacting everyone around you. You're a strong pillar in this school and to the students because you've planted yourself in the Lord and His Word. You are a wise builder. You have grown in acknowledging the Lord in all your ways, so He will make your path straight. I see your paths made straight ahead of you. You are a righteous man who will not be shaken, but remain steady. And I just feel, I shared this with you before, the prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective. And I know the Lord is going to take you very far, Julian. The favor of the Lord is with you. Psalms 23, 5-6. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And I really feel that that's for you. The Lord's, His goodness and His love will follow you all the days of your life. It's been an honor walking with you. You bring us so much joy, Julian.
Thank you.
Julian, do you have a dream journal?
What?
Do you have a dream journal?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Okay, good. Keep it handy. Lord's going to speak more.
All right, Seth Reed.
Hey guys. My 1 year at TDA has certainly challenged me, and I can thankfully say that none of it was a waste of time. Throughout the year in our foundations class, we were given various assignments related to whatever topic we were studying at the time. For example, internships, personality types, spiritual giftedness, and everything else you will find in our portfolios. But I never really knew why we were doing them, or at least I didn't understand our end goal of creating these portfolios. But after working on these and reflecting on all of the assignments, it's easy for me to see God's hand in my school and in my life in general. One of the most significant things that we did in this class was writing our life messages. This was the most daunting assignment for me personally because I didn't actually think that I had a life message to even talk about. But as I began structuring my essay, God revealed himself to me through my testimony that I didn't even know I had. This was a huge blessing for me, and it continues to encourage me today. At the beginning of the year, we had to fill out these little questionnaire worksheets with Bible verses and personal prayers for the year, as well as some other things. At the time, I thought little of their significance, but after looking back at them for the first time in a year, I was moved to read them and see how God answered each prayer and how he blessed me and helped me throughout the year. Some other awesome things we focused on in Foundations were personality types and spiritual gifts. We discussed the Enneagram and discovered our own personality types and how each of us affect one another. We also learned about different spiritual gifts, as well as natural abilities and acquired skills that each of us have. Each of these studies has helped me understand myself better, as well as the person that God created me to be. Lastly, I want to share some of my takeaways from TDA and give some insights into my plans for this next year. But first, I would like to thank all of my teachers again for just helping me finish strong and for being a positive and godly influence in my life. I'm very blessed to have gotten to know you all. And I especially want to thank my parents for the crazy amount of time, money, and effort that they put into my schooling and into the person that I've become. Their constant support and love and encouragement has helped me more than I could say. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for everything. One of my biggest takeaways from TDA is probably the importance of true godly relationships and friendships. The way that people here love each other and connect with such deep friendships is amazing. As for my plans for this next year, I don't really have any concrete ones other than to trust, love, and follow Jesus. I know that he is guiding me and leading me into his perfect plan for me. Thank you all for listening.
Okay, Seth, I so enjoyed having you in class this year. 3 classes together, I think, right? Psychology, economics, and philosophy. And it was really great. I'm so glad you were here at TDA this year. And, you know, the one thing I think about right off the bat was just, you know, your gentle spirit. You were patient in class, patient with people. You're smart. Your intellect, you always did so well on the tests. And I remember the first time that, I think it was our first psychology test, that even though you weren't saying a lot in class, you ended up getting like 100 on the test. I was like, oh, you're understanding this stuff. And then every time you would talk in class, I was always thoughtful. I could tell you had thought it out, and it was right on target. And that was wonderful. So I just encourage you to do what you said, to keep following Jesus, walking with him. He loves you. He made you the way you are, and he's going to take you a long way.
Seth, you're brilliant. You have a brilliant mind. Don't let that go to waste. You're an overcomer. The enemy has put obstacles in your way, and he's going to keep doing that. And you keep your eyes on the Lord. Keep your eyes on the Lord every step of the way, and you will overcome every single one of them. The enemy's done that to you in the past, and he'll continue to do that in the future. But the Lord is with you. The Lord is with you every single step of the way. Don't forget that. And you're an excellent communicator. You're an excellent communicator. Lean into that. Lean into that. Don't be afraid to speak up when it's time. Don't be afraid to hold your breath when it's time, but don't be afraid to speak up when it's time. The Lord has given you a gift. Lean into that.
So, thank you. I was praying for you, Seth, and I actually just had a picture come to my mind, and I will let this sit with what these guys have said. And it was that you were in a cave that was dark, and there were people in the cave that were lost, and you had a torch, and you were guiding people out of the cave. And you weren't doing it with an overwhelming amount of confidence. You're like, this is the way to go, I'm quite sure. And then you'd put the torch in front of you and then say, and now this is the way to go. And there was this strong sense that you will be leading others out of darkness, that God has you calling others out of darkness. And that's all I got. So bless you in that.
Seth, I feel like I didn't get to know you super well this year, just because I don't teach class or anything like that. But I do remember when we went to Lions Week, like you waking up and really spending time with the Lord and treasuring that time. And I feel like you know those times are special, and I feel like the Lord wants to tell you that those are special. Like he sees those as very special times. So I love your plan. I love your plan, just to stay close to him, to follow him, to be obedient.
All right, Seth. I'm so thankful that the Lord had you come to TDA this year. Your sensitivity to the Holy Spirit and to others is a gift to all of us. You have pushed us without you even knowing it, to be sensitive to him and to be extra careful not to grieve him. I love the way that you have tapped into the Lord's heart, and I love that you heard his heart for you. And my prayer is that his words will continue to strengthen you and strengthen the core of who you are. His words will uphold you and bring you confidence in who he has called you to be. And like I shared with you, I just saw a picture of the Lord's truth girdling you. And from Ephesians 6:14, stand firm then with the belt of truth buckled around your waist. And some versions say to be girdled with truth. And it's a first piece of armor the Lord tells us to put on, and it affects everything else. And I feel that as you let the word of the Lord girdle you, it'll totally strengthen you and give you a new confidence in the Lord, and a new confidence for you to speak truth into others and call others out of darkness into his wonderful light. And so I'm just so proud of you. You've gone through so much this past year. You've endured a lot and been stretched far beyond what you thought could be possible. However, I believe the Lord was in it all to strengthen you. You have learned to lean into him more than ever, which is your strength. So we're super proud of you, Seth.
Thank you, guys.
I was cleaning my room the other night, and as I did this, I was gathering all the prayer cards that were spread all across my room into a little box. And as I placed each one into the box, I read them. And I just started to cry, and not only because all of the words touched me, but the Lord was revealing to me what a blessing it is to go to a school where we can just prophesy over each other and love each other so selflessly and unashamedly. I don't know how to say that. Okay, so before I get into this speech, I want to thank the Queen of Prayer Cards, Mrs. Lee. I am so grateful for your passion to see us thrive and for setting such an amazing example. Your kindness, love, and grace does not go unnoticed. Thank you for praying for us, praying with us, teaching us how to journal, and to pray in every circumstance. The Daniel Academy has built us seniors such an amazing foundation for all of us to go out into the world and live lives devoted to Jesus. This school provided me with so much room to grow and learn about myself, and along with that, it gave me the opportunity to see potential in myself I didn't know I had. One of my favorite things that I got to do this year was to write out my life message. And even though in class I can't shut up, I get a lot of anxiety giving speeches, especially about topics that are personal and vulnerable. I shared about how I have never really experienced much stability in my life, and how I moved schools every year up until my freshman year, and how the Lord brought me out of this place and took me to this amazing school where I've got to spend the last 4 years forming deep, fruitful relationships with people that inspire me every day. He brought me stability and comfort. And though I was extremely nervous to share this message, the Lord gave me so much grace, and I'm so thankful that I was asked to do this. I'd been wanting to sit down and articulate my life message for a really long time, and writing it down gave me the ability to compile all my thoughts and also to give me the new eyes to see both the faithfulness and goodness of God in my life. I believe that it's so important to not only feel the goodness of God, but to see it and be able to pinpoint areas of your life where He's been faithful and proven Himself good. Psalm 27:13, I remain confident of this, I will see the goodness of God in the land of the living. Another impactful thing that we did was the giftedness portion, where we got to explore 3 different categories: our acquired skills, natural abilities, and spiritual gifts. And we gathered all this information into a Venn diagram. I love this experience because this is where I really got to sit down and thank God for the way that He made me and to discover ways that I use His gifts in my everyday life. As of right now, I don't have a very specific plan for what I want to do with the next year of my life, but over the last couple of months, I feel like the Lord has been pruning my heart and readying me for everything He has for me. Especially over Lions Week, I believe there was a shift where the Lord was telling me, Amira, you are all mine. He is worthy of all of my worship, devotion, and focus. I've come to a place of surrender. All I know for now is that the Lord is leading me, and I will go where He follows. I'm really interested in the medical field, possibly studying dentistry, but I know for now that I want to do some sort of DTS or Bible school beforehand because I'd love some more spiritual grounding before possibly going into a more secular community. I'm looking forward to doing everyday life with the Lord and getting to know His heart. I've been thinking about either YWAM or maybe even like the Todd White School for a season. But again, I'm so thankful for TDA. I'm so thankful to all my teachers. Mrs. Lauren Frazier for giving me a beautiful journal and meeting my stupid freshman rebellion with kindness and grace. Mrs. Jessie for teaching me what it means to be a woman and teaching me my self-worth. Mr. French for understanding my sense of humor and always meeting me where I am. Mrs. Dodette Frazier for seeing the potential in me, I don't know where she is, and holding me to a high standard. Mr. Hibbs for teaching me how the real world works and making our whole class cry over geodes. And a special shout out to Mr. Collings, who never failed to fight for me and beside me through every crazy situation I managed to get myself into. Every single teacher at this school is spirit-filled and so loving, and I couldn't imagine better role models for all of us. I'm so grateful for all of your desires to see us learn, grow, and love well. I also want to thank my family. I'm so thankful for all the late nights my mom stayed up to help me finish homework or a science fair project, and for my dad's back rubs when he could tell I was stressed. You both have taught me and loved me so well. Thank you to my older sister Simona, who is always there, loves me infinitely, and holds me together. My little brother James, who never fails to tell me that I look beautiful. And Gianna, who is only 9, but already a better big sister to me than I could ever be to her. And lastly, to my sister Shayna, who, if any of you know her, you know is absolutely hilarious, but also loves every single person she meets so passionately. Shayna, you're my best friend. I always want to be just like you. I love the Daniel Academy, and I'm so excited to come back in 5 years and see, or sooner, and see more of the blessing the Lord has for TDA unfold. I've said too many goodbyes in my life, but this might just be the hardest one yet. Thank you.
This is getting really hard as we go through the class. Amira, it's been so awesome having you in class, and yeah, all the things we talked about. It's amazing. And, sometimes you and Shayna, and yeah, it's been wonderful. And I am so glad that you are seeing who you are and loving it, because the Father loves it and He loves you for who you are, everything you are. And the one thing that I really saw with you in psychology was you have an emotional intelligence that you would get some things that other personalities would not understand when we discussed it. And I started to kind of see that I thought probably you're going to be able to help people in the future because you're going to be able to understand some things in their lives that they don't necessarily understand. But because of the intuition that the Father's given you, you're really going to be able to help them out. So keep thinking about that and keep doing it.
Amira, when I pray for you, I get the sense that you feel like at times you're lost and that you're wandering, but this is what I feel like the Lord proclaimed over you. Daniel 12:3. Those who are wise will shine like the brightness of the heavens, and those who lead many to righteousness like the stars forever and ever. And I feel like that's something that the Lord is proclaiming over you. You are one of those that will lead many to righteousness. There is an eternity ahead of us, and for all eternity, the Lord is going to highlight you. He's going to shine on you, and you are going to shine like the brightness in the heavens forever because of those lives that you change. The Lord has ordained for you a path, and the Lord has ordained for you people that you're going to come in contact with. And the Lord is going to give you opportunity to see those lives change. And it's not something that you can earn or not earn. The Lord has laid this out ahead of you. You only need to keep your eyes on Him and walk into it.
Yeah, what he said. So I was praying for you, and I love you. You were one of my first students here when you were a little freshman taking my health class. Poor thing. And over the years, I know that there have been harder times for you than, you've hit some bumps in the road in the last couple of years. And so as I was praying for you, this is sort of what I wanted to say. Amira, you are healing. You are still healing. Where I am watching you heal, and it's a beautiful thing to see. And I want to encourage you that you can take your time to heal. I think it's wise, your choice is to spend more time with the Lord, because I think He has more healing for you. And I want to just encourage you to let it take the time it takes, and don't begrudge the time that it takes. It's good. He's building something in you that's really, really beautiful, and you will come out more powerful than you have ever imagined you can be. You are now more powerful than you ever have been. And that power in you is growing, and it will continue to grow. So I just want to encourage you not to begrudge that healing time, to let God do His work in you, and know that the joy that's coming is greater than any joy you have known. Know that the power that's coming is greater than any power that you have known. And know that the fun that is coming is greater than any fun that you have known. He is building something new in you, and it is very, very cool.
So just praying for you, I felt the word authority, and I felt like it's coming. So the coming part was actually very important. So I feel like Mrs. Jessie kind of really filled out that word. Like, as you heal and as you grow, there's a strong and powerful authority. And I remember going to a soccer game once and being able to overhear you, and you were like, somebody get number 17. You're too far up. Like, you're giving all these orders. I'm like, whoa, I've never seen that part of Amira. But I think there is this sense of, like, you can speak into people's lives. Like, you can look into their lives and they're struggling. You can be like, stop. Like, get out of that. That's not good for you. So as you heal and as you grow, just be aware of that authority that will come with that.
All right. Mira, I am just stunned by where you are at. Look at the Lord. You are growing in a stunning way, and I'm completely undone. You have found who you are in the Lord, and you've blossomed. It has been just such joy and a pleasure for me to get to watch on the sidelines. You've brought my heart so much joy, and I just have so much love for you. You have tasted and seen that the Lord is good. You have seen that He is the one your heart desires, the one your soul loves, and you will hang on to Him forever. I feel like you have fallen, I know, you have fallen in love with Him over and over again, and your face is glowing from that first love. And I feel like even what Mr. Hibbs said about you impacting many, many people, it's going to be out of the glow of your love for Jesus. You're going to be so in love, and people are going to be drawn to that because it's like you're just in that daze of loving Jesus. And my prayer for you is that you would always keep Jesus as your first love, that you will continue just to fall in love with Him. And I just love you so much. You're so beautiful. Jack Lee Pack.
array my papers. I know. Stop it. I talk fast. All right. My years at the Daniel Academy have been absolutely profound. From the way we've seen God move in our lives and the pressing in and the yearning and groaning for the things of God to the relationships that were strengthened, these precious years have been unforgettable. Much of it was marked by challenge, emotional and relational challenge, spiritual challenges, and wrestling with God, hills and valleys of every imaginable sort. I can't say that at any point my time here was easy or necessarily a walk in the park. There was always something that pushed back. There was no lack of good time, to be sure, but even with challenge, when I look back, I know without a shadow of a doubt that I wouldn't have wanted to spend it anywhere else. The atmosphere that TDA offers in and of itself is reason enough to be here, even if it didn't boast the teachers that care deeply for their students, each one remarkable in bringing something fresh to the table every day, and a leadership team and staff that puts so much work, dedication, and most notably intercession into the heart of this school. I wouldn't have chosen anywhere else to grow, to be tested and tried, and to be refined. I wouldn't have chosen anywhere else to grow in my relationship with God. Of all the things I learned while at the Daniel Academy, a couple things take major precedence. The first is the nature of God. Our God is a good God. He loves us and he cares deeply for us. I struggled with this reality in years prior and even during a good portion of my younger years here, but I dare say that in my experience, if you seek the Lord earnestly, day and night, if you spend time with him in prayer and in conversation and learn to sit in his presence, sit at his feet and just listen, you will come to the same conclusion I did, and you will fall in love with him just as I did. The impact of prayer is the second. I saw for myself and tasted God's faithfulness through prayer and intercession. There were many things I prayed for on a daily basis, from my deep desire to have friends that would run with me into the deeper things of God, or a school with a heart on fire for the Lord and for the things of the Lord. I was shown here that my prayers matter, and even beyond that, they have weight in the ears of my Father, just as all of yours do. And with that, we know that God is a God of his promise, and he never fails to keep his word. In our senior foundations class, I had the absolute pleasure and privilege to teach junior high PE for 2 semesters in my internship, 8th grade for my first semester and 6th and 7th grade for my second semester. Every day was something different and something new with these incredible young men and women, from playing street hockey and making them do push-ups for swinging these sticks way too high, to throwing rolled up clean socks at each other and calling it dodgeball, to whacking each other with pool noodles and running around till we could hardly breathe, to even being able to sit down with them and let them ask questions about life and just talk with them about the Lord. I will never forget this experience, and beyond that, I relish the time I got to spend with them. They are all remarkable people, and beyond that, I cannot wait to see them become the leaders that they are meant to be until they set the spiritual atmosphere and the spiritual bar of this place as they already are. I'd like to thank the amazing teachers in my life, not only the teachers that taught me in the traditional sense in classes and in studies, but also in life, indirectly and directly. I'd like to thank my parents for the way that they've brought me up and taught me to love God and to trust him with everything, because there's no other way to do it. I've never met more generous, genuine, in-your-face, real, and loving people in my life. They've put so much time, energy, tears, and plenty of discipline into my upbringing, and I wouldn't be here without them, literally. I want to thank Mr. Hibbs for the wealth of wisdom you've imparted in many ways, and heck, even for the generous amount of papers that you graced us with this school year. I want to thank Mr. French for taking the time to talk real with us, to talk about life, about Jesus, and about the things that matter, even when we were behind schedule, which, who are we kidding, we were behind schedule since day one. I want to thank Mr. Collins for being someone we could always talk to, always ask the crazy, weird, insane questions that we didn't think we would ever be able to ask, for holding all of our hearts so well, even and especially when things were more than a little bit hairy. And even though he's probably not here, I would like to thank Mr. Elliott. He left a greater influence on my life than he could have ever known, in his own weird, unique, semi-counterintuitive way, from arguing that ice cream is just milk with more milk, which is absolutely ridiculous, and I haven't let go of that, to pushing us harder than we thought we could go, all for the sake of inspiring growth. Every single one of my teachers have left an incredible impact on me, and I could talk about each and every one of them for a very long time, but I can't, sadly. You've all done more in my life than you could possibly know, or possibly even understand. Thank you, Mrs. Jasmine and Mr. Small. Thank you all both. Both for the jobs that you've allowed me to take on, which definitely helped cover my car insurance every month. Thank you very much. And for keeping me accountable in the physical and spiritually. Whether it was conscious or not, you both set a high bar for loving God well and for loving people well, and it shows. It drives and it inspires. Finally, Mr. and Mrs. Lee. Thank you both for the insane amount of work you do for the Daniel Academy, for every late night of grading our late papers,
for interceding for and with us, for seeing past our silly, foolish mistakes, which were made often and always met with love, and for pushing us further both in academics and in the Lord, even when we truly thought we could go no further. You have led the school so well, and it is an honor to have walked down the path that you have both played such a part in carving. I love this school with all of my heart, and I know that the Lord has great things in store for this place. For behold, he is making a new thing, and knowing God, it is going to be glorious in his light. Thank you.
All right, Jack. Yeah, I love all your insane questions and seeing the shock on your face when I give you a certain answer. It's been great. Jack, it's been amazing seeing you just come from, where you were as a freshman to this year. I mean, it's just like almost, in a moment. You grew up and you're leading and, doing the PE classes, and just so thankful for what the Lord's doing in your life. And I just have really appreciated you being in class. You were stable all the time. I think you said thank you to me after every single class. That, and I used to, joke around with people about that. And but you're just so grateful and respectful and kind to your classmates, and just I'm just really proud of you, and I think you're going to do wonderful as you move on. And I could go on and on, but I'm being timed here. But it's been great, Jack.
Thank you.
Jack, consider this my formal and public apology for the geodes incident.
There's one sitting next to my portfolio.
Is there really?
Yes.
Jack, you have wisdom beyond your years, so don't let anybody catch up. Keep growing in wisdom. Keep leaning into the Lord. Keep pressing into the Lord. As to what Mr. Collings said with you saying thank you, that's something that struck me. And I don't know if that's something that's a part of the culture of TDA, but there are so many people here at this school that do that. I'm constantly struck by the number of students that say, "Thank you, Mr. Hibbs," after class. And I want to say that the things that you do, they rub off on people. The things that you do, people are paying attention to you. And you have an opportunity. The Lord has given you talent and charisma and charm. And don't rest on those. Lean into them. The Lord has given those to you, gifted you with those things, and they are to further his kingdom. They will benefit you and bless you if you keep your eyes on the Lord. Keep your eyes on him. And the Lord will lift you up, and he will draw people to himself through you because he's gifted you in those ways. Don't take your eyes off of him.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love what Mr. Hibbs just said. That was very cool. I was praying over you and remembering that you wanted to be a chef. And I was thinking about the way you love good food and the way you love a good game. I know from my daughter in PE that you love a good game of dodgeball or any other kind of good game. And I want to just encourage you. And I also know from conversations with you that you love worship. And I feel like you live all of those things that you love. You drink deeply of the marrow of life. And all of that is an act of worship. You adore the Lord and you adore the world that the Lord made. And I just want to encourage you, no matter what you end up doing, all that you do is unto God. Like, it's all worship. And that richness that you feel, you just grab things and you engage them in such a beautiful, rich way. It's not like, oh, it was kind of there. You're like there, And that is all worship unto God. because you worship the Creator through enjoying that which He created, whether it's competition or food or, or just the guitar, whatever it is. I just want to encourage you to love the act of loving, because it's really life-giving, and it has brought life to others. And I think what Mr. Hibbs says is really true. You have an influence on others. You call others higher just by your act of embracing life with the passion that you have, that really is tied to your love of God, if that makes any sense.
Jack, years ago, I was at school, and I don't know if it was Mr. French, someone was like, they couldn't be here, and so they needed someone to look over the boys' Bible study group or something, and I was like, they asked me to do it, and I was like, I have no idea what to do, but I had a pad in the car. I was like, well, I'll teach them how to fight. So we did. We had a little self-defense class, and after class, I didn't know this was your thing, but you came and you were like, Mr. Lee, thank you so much for teaching me how to fight. I'm like, oh, that's really nice of you. And now, like, TDA Fight Club's a thing, right? And it's largely because of you. I appreciate that. But I feel like there's something in you that is truly a fighter and a defender of people. I love that. There's a sense of justice that isn't yours. It definitely comes from the Lord. And I see this image as I was praying for you of someone pulling back like a bow and arrow. And there was such a balance between this person was waiting for the right time, like didn't rush his shot. And then when the time came, he let go. And so I feel like as you go take these steps into adulthood and you've got to figure out what you're going to do and what you're not going to do, like there is this sense of like, take your time, figure it out, hear from the Lord, He'll speak to you. And then when that time comes, let loose, like let it go. There's a step of faith there too. Thank you.
All right, Jack, I see you with a spear, so a weapon too. And I just feel like you've been doing battle all year long, and the Lord has been with you. You have fought for the presence of God. You have fought for His visitation, and He has heard your prayers. He's visited us, and He will continue to visit us. And you've really spearheaded so much of what the Lord is doing at TDA. And I feel the Lord's pleasure over you, just thanking you for partnering with Him and catching on to the desires of His heart and pleading for those things. He says that you are a man after His own heart. You fight for Him and you seek His heart. It's just been incredible, and you've left such a mark. The Lord has seen your sacrifice, and He has truly rewarded and will keep rewarding you. The measures that He gives is completely unproportional to the ways that we give. So be ready to be in constant awe of Him, of the way He will not just reward you, but the way that He will bring you from glory to glory to glory. And His glory is unending. So just be ready. Love you, Jack.
Thank you. Love you too. Hey, Jack, I'll say one more thing. Quick. I want to say one more thing, Jack. You and I have had conversations about those things about you that you didn't necessarily, like or were wonderful. But I just want to say again that be that person, be all of you in front of God, because He loves all of you. And so don't hide that from Him or hide anything from Him. Be all of you in front of Him, right? So that you can really experience how much He loves you. That's it.
Thank you.
Kaylee.
Oh my God. I lost my voice, so it might crack a little. It's okay. I hate small talk, and I think everyone else does too. But when it needs to happen, I'm really good at it. As long as we get past the question of what school do you go to, because that question is so awkward, and there's no way to small talk about TDA. This place is my entire childhood. It's my home, and the people here are family. I think my most important takeaway, and also happens to be my life message, is that worshiping God constantly, whatever the cost, I lost my place, is essential to a relationship with Him and also essential in making it through life. This has all been for Him, and He's worth my all every single day. My second takeaway, or takeaways, are these guys, my best friends. These friendships are ones I will remember forever. I could not have asked for better people to do high school with.
Every time I think about you guys, I'm absolutely blown away by the kindness of God. I've learned what it means to fight for your friends, to call your friends higher, and I've learned what it's like to be fought for and to be called higher. I would not be who I am today without your constant companionship and marvelous camaraderie. Internships were cool. I did a lot of lab work and stuff over the summer. And then I had recently had the privilege of shadowing Mrs. Engelkis and some surgeons in the operating room. So that was absolutely incredible. So thanks to Mrs. Yap and Mrs. Engelkis for making that happen. Come September, I will be moving to San Diego. Woo. And I'll be studying molecular and cell biology at University of California, San Diego. Stuco has been a rather large part of my life for the past 2 years, and I'm so thankful for that. I learned how to fail well. I learned that God cares about his kids having a good time, and I learned that I love telling people what to do. Just kidding, I already knew that. But anyway, I've loved fostering a love for each other here, and I've loved pushing other students and seeing them step into their own roles of leadership. Over Lions Week, Mr. Olvera told us that he saw the word remarkable over us as a class, and he mentioned that we as students are remarkable because of the remarkable teachers and adults that we get to see and hear and learn from every day. Almost every single teacher here has impacted me in profound ways, and I am more grateful than I can say in a short speech. I'd like to thank my junior high teachers, including but not limited to Mr. Elliott, Ms. Starnes, Mrs. Hayes, and of course Mr. Olvera for making our experience more pleasant than most junior high experiences, for intentionally fighting to unify our class, and for relentlessly calling us each of us into higher levels of maturity despite our obvious lack. I'd also like to honor and thank Mrs. Crystal Zuka for seeing the good in a very broken class and for dragging it out of each of us individually and as a whole. We would not be anywhere near where we are without her tough, patient, and motherly love. Mr. Collings, Mr. French, who's not here, and Mrs. Dodette Frazier, thank you for making yourselves constantly available and for the way that you genuinely care about each of our well-being. To Mr. Small and Mrs. Logan, thank you for being so encouraging and so helpful all the time and being so humble about it, never asking for credit. Mr. Logan, thank you for your coaching, for letting me lead worship despite my voice cracks and my flat melodies and my wrong notes. Also, thank you for all of our random Thursday morning conversations. I think you've mentored me a lot more than you realize. Mrs. Frazier, thank you for being my biggest cheerleader ever, for calling the best out of me, and for seeing so much hope in my future. Miss Kelsey, you have somehow made me feel seen by God, and I could not be more grateful. You also make me laugh, and you're just the best person in the whole world. Mr. Hibbs, thank you for making this year bearable. I've learned so much from you about writing, about reading, about high school, about college, about grad school, about life and family, about the world and the people in it, about hearing from and following Jesus, and about The Simpsons, Texas A&M, and Chuck Norris. I cannot imagine a better or richer English class experience. He also, just on the note of the geodes, he made me yell at my mom in front of my entire class and tell her that she was working with the devil. Anyway, Miss Jackson, first of all, I can't wait to call you Auntie Jazz. Thanks for making life not boring, for being my friend, for catching and juggling all the balls that I drop, as well as all the balls that everyone else in the school drops. Thanks for encouraging me when I 100% don't deserve it, and thanks for getting me out of trouble with my mom when I 100% do deserve it. Mrs. Jessie, first of all, your classes have actually been a blast. I've loved all of them, including that one semester of world history. Thank you for being there for your students. It's so crazy to have a teacher that will sit and cry with you. I had no idea I needed that, but apparently I really did. Out of all the humans here, I attribute the majority of my making it to graduation to you. So thanks for being real and for letting me be real too. And last but certainly not least, I'd like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Lee for leading the school well and for being a great, mostly put together principal and teacher. Just kidding. No, but really, Mommy and Daddy, thank you for loving me and fighting for me day in and day out, whether I appreciated it or pulled away. I don't have more respect for any other two people on the planet. I've never seen harder workers who are also totally capable, who lean on and love Jesus with all their hearts, who lead and pastor a school and still find energy to raise a family that mostly has a good time together. I'm honored to be your daughter, and I hope to be like both of you someday.
One of my favorite memories of you was freshman year when you were writing English papers for me. And, most of the girls were writing the nice, fluffy papers and then here's yours about going into battle and being at the front and dying gloriously in the battle. And I thought, oh, who is this? But I soon found out that was you. You're a warrior, and we've talked about this. And, you are going to be at the front of the battle, and you're fearless, and God's going to have you there. And, kind of remind me of your dad, a little bit. He's like that too, right? The warrior. And so I've just really enjoyed seeing that in you. And, I just think the Lord is going to tell you to do things, and you're going to do them, and you're not going to care what other people think about doing it, right? You're going to do it, and you're going to do it well, and the Lord is, just going to be so proud of you. And, the Father loves you, every part of you, with no condemnation at all. And so just keep remembering that, and just as you keep pressing forward.
Kay, you're going to be amazing at whatever you choose to do the rest of your life. As I was praying for you, the Lord recalled to my mind the parable that Jesus told about, the people sitting at the table, and there are those that take the seat of honor and those that take the seat of dishonor. And I feel like the Lord is proclaiming over you that he has a seat of honor at the table for you, wherever you go. The Lord is going to give you a seat of honor wherever you go. The Lord has put favor on your life. Stay humble. Take that low seat and wait. The Lord's going to elevate that place. But he's not going to elevate it because you deserve it. He's not going to elevate it because you're just so awesome and you're awesome. But he's going to do it because he sees you, he knows you, and he loves you. And you're working together with him. He has that seat of honor for you. Watch, sit back and watch and marvel at how the Lord is going to work that in every situation you're in. It'll be a joy to you to be able to sit back and watch him work in ways that you can't even imagine.
Not sure I can do this. Okay, so I love you, as you know. But as I was praying for you, there was a moment, one instant moment that really keeps coming to my mind, and it's actually fairly recent, that I think defines you. And it's not all the amazing things you've done, and you've done amazing things. You've been so strong, you've been so good, you've been so faithful to your friends, you've wept over them, which we have done together. But the moment was a bizarrely awkward one a couple of weeks ago when we did TDA Live. And I was sitting in the front row, and you came and you did your dance, and you were as close to me as my hand is in my face. I was like, whoa, she's in my face. And, but Kay, in that moment, I saw a joy and a life in you in that dance that I have never seen before. You were in heaven. You were fully radiant. And I feel like that is you. That full radiance of worship before the Lord, that is you. Everything else is sort of stuff that also comes with that, but you are the worshiper before the Lord. And that is what puts lifeblood in everything else that you do. And not because you do it, but because you are worship. That's what you are. You have become one who worships. And it's happened because you've worshiped, as you said in your life message, you've worshiped in all sorts of painful situations, all sorts of joy. But it is the blood that runs through your veins. And I just want to bless that in you as you go out, and you are going to work very, very hard in the years to come. School is going to be everything. It's going to be intense. But that worship that is the core of who you are will infiltrate all of the hard earthly things that you have in front of you, challenges that you face. And it is gorgeous. It is absolutely heaven on earth. So bless you in that. And I love you.
Okay, I'm super proud of you. Couldn't be more proud. Wouldn't trade you for any kid. Not that we trade kids. But I'm more proud of you than you know. So thanks for being a good daughter.
All right. Okay, I just felt the Lord say, get ready. And 1 Corinthians 2:9, what no eye has seen, what no ear has heard, and what no human mind has conceived, the things God has prepared for those who love him, and you love him. So just get ready. And the other thing I saw is when I was praying for you is just a lighthouse. Matthew chapter 5, I think, verse 14, you are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand and gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. I felt like you've been in a greenhouse all these years. You've been growing strong, and it's now time to go out, be a lighthouse, let your light pierce into the darkness. Love you. Chloe Kimball Dillard.
Okay. Putting together these senior portfolios was definitely a journey. We did a ton of self-reflection and digging deeper into who we are, as well as calling forward our identity in Christ and who he made us to be. I was honestly able to learn quite a bit about myself and almost everything we did in this class. While writing our life messages, I think I really grew my identity in the Lord because I was forced to actually really think through the details and write down one of the biggest ways he's worked in me in my life. Being aware of the things that he has done is a huge part of knowing who you are to him and who he is to you. Learning that I can come to God no matter where I'm at or what I've done has been a lifelong journey and has gotten more and more important as I've gotten older. And finally having that revelation that I really am his daughter in whom he is well pleased has impacted my relationship with him in such a big way. As well as working on our life messages, we spent a lot of time digging deeper into our personalities and gifts. We took a few tests in order to give us general ideas of where to start, and then we moved forward from there. The Enneagram test, I didn't gain a ton from that because I've had the same personality type since junior high. But I really enjoyed learning about my classmates' personalities and seeing how we're all super similar and super different in a bunch of different ways. I also really enjoyed learning about each of our gifts, and it was super cool to see the gifts that we saw in ourselves versus the gifts that we saw in each other. I also really liked the Venn diagrams because it showed how the Lord manages to intertwine all of our gifts, whether they're spiritual, natural, or acquired. God has done so much in my life through TDA, and despite the times that I've been tired of it, I'm immensely grateful for my time here. This school has really helped form the foundation for my relationship with the Lord, and I honestly don't know how I would have turned out without being surrounded by people who just continued to push me towards him as I was growing up. God really did use TDA to shape me into who he wanted me to be, from worshiping him every morning, whether I felt like it or not, to simply having to control my actions on the soccer field. I want to thank these three teachers specifically. Mr. Collings, you have shown such immense amounts of fatherly love to every single person in our class, and you've made every single one of us feel so heard and seen. Mr. Hibbs, you have taught us so much, as you've heard from everyone else, and you've turned even random little conversations into huge, inspiring life lessons. Mrs. Jessie, you see so much in me, and you pull out so much potential. You inspire me, I think, more than you realize, and you've shown me that being a woman goes so far beyond simply sitting still and being pretty, but being strong, intelligent, hardworking, and so much more. This last year at TDA, although a challenge, has been really good for me, and I honestly really enjoyed getting to know myself and my class more through this class. I love getting to sort of end this journey with them by watching them get to know and step into themselves. These people have been a huge part of my life, and I'm so excited to see what God chooses to do with their amazing selves. I have no doubt that God has big plans for every single one of you. As for myself, I also don't really have concrete plans for this next school year, but I plan on doing general education at JCCC. And I would also really like to look into going on a missions trip over the summer or maybe beginning semester of next school year so that I have the opportunity to share my heart for the Lord while traveling and helping others. Leaving this school is going to be one of the most difficult and exciting things I've ever done, but I can't wait to see what God has in store for me. So thank you, TDA student body, for managing to bring some kind of joy to every day and being some of the most encouraging people that I have ever met. Thank you to all of my current and past teachers and leaders for pulling me out of every single little rut and pushing me towards success. And thank you to my parents for walking me through life and helping me through every little thing, from homework breakdowns to totaling cars. And thank you specifically to my class for loving me so unbelievably well and selflessly and teaching me how to be a true marvelous comrade.
Well, Chloe, I have loved having you in class every year in multiple classes. And the thing that I think so much about you is just you're stable, and you're probably, you might laugh when I say this, but in class and around me, you're stable and even, and you're just consistent. And that, I know, you're probably laughing, but it's, that is a good thing to have in class. And you always did your work well, and you were respectful of me. And somehow or another, though, the phrase that I probably said the most over the past 4 years was, Chloe and Amira, I don't know how that happened, but you were, always engaged in class, and you're such a good friend. You talk about your friends being a good friend to you, but you're a good friend to them, and loyal and understanding. And so, you talk about how we discuss the Father's love a lot, and I just want you to know, and just to hang on to this, the Father loves you immensely, and He's got great things for you, and you're going to experience His love and get to do all the things He has for you.
Chloe, this has been a cool year because from last year to this year, it was apparent that the Lord did a work in you. The Lord's done an amazing, radiant work in your life. Keep leaning into that. Keep pressing into that. As I was praying for you, I just felt like the Lord was saying that the enemy has come against you, and maybe even continue to come against you, questioning, do you fit in? Do you belong here? And the Lord wants to tell you, you belong here. Wherever you go, you belong here, because the Lord has put you there. Wherever you set your foot, you belong right there. That is where you belong, because that is the destiny that the Lord has proclaimed over you. Most people never feel like they actually fully belong, and the Lord wants to give you, I believe, an identity in Him, that wherever your feet land, that's where you belong. That's where He has you for that moment. And it's a divine ordination over your life.
Okay, you're right. I see things in you that you don't see in yourself. You are an incredible young woman, and your mind is an incredible mind. And as I was praying for you, I'm just going to be super practical here. I'm not going to be super spiritual. Your capacity far, far exceeds your understanding. Like, you are capable of much, much more than you think you can. So, the mistakes you make and have made and will make in the future only further qualify you to continue pursuing your dream. Do not allow your mistakes to disqualify you. Instead, grow on them, learn from them, and let them empower you just to continue to move forward. Say, well, there you go. Learn that lesson, onward we go. Go to college. Study something you love. Find a passion and pursue it, because you on fire is amazing. And I really want to encourage you, don't let yourself go, oh, I probably can't do that. That's probably not really an option. Take those things that you would dismiss, and don't dismiss them. Hold on to them and really just give it all you've got. You can do anything with that mind of yours. And I just want to make sure that you don't disqualify yourself. If you have a dream, go for it. Study something interesting. Don't just get a degree to get a degree. Study something you're passionate about, and really, really go for it. because you have a mind like his. Like he's really, really, really smart. He's taught you all this stuff, right? Yours is like his. You have that much ticking on the inside of your head. And I just really want to encourage you to really grab and go with that brain of yours. Bless you.
Chloe, really short, I just feel joy all over you. I feel like you're going to bring joy. The joy of the Lord is going to be your strength. You're going to have joy, all of that. So I just want to say that.
Right. Chloe, I just want to say publicly how happy I am that you're here, that you came here for your senior year. So happy. I told you before, like the Lord loves you. He wasn't done with you here yet, but he loved me too because I just needed you here for your senior year. I'm so happy. And look at you now. I see you and I see what a beautiful heart you have after Jesus. And I just feel that you so loudly, you love him, you love him, you love him. And it's so obvious. And I don't want you to ever question if you love Jesus or not, because Jesus knows that you love him. I've loved watching you grow in your love for the Lord and watching you grasp onto the truth of who he is and who you are. I feel that you love so well. Someone was saying that too, that you love so well. You love your friends so well. And as an Enneagram 9 since junior high, right? I've seen you be such a huge support to your friends, and you give them so much courage to become who they are. So much of what these people are, who they've become, is because of you and the way you cheered them on and the way you've supported them. And I've told you the story before too. I was just reminded of Jesus asking Peter if he loves him. And Jesus knew deep inside that Peter loved him. And maybe Peter just needed to know and proclaim these truths out loud 3 times. But after he proclaimed that he did love Jesus, Jesus tells him to feed his sheep. And so just continue to go and love his people well. You carry such a piece of his heart for those around you. And you continue to support and love with Jesus' heart. He trusts you to carry his heart to other people. I'm so proud of you. Just continue to lean into him and his heartbeat like John the disciple. And I can't wait to see where the Lord takes you. It's going to be the greatest love story. Love you, Chloe. Kristen.
Once again, I must say goodbye to this wonderful place, the place where I've met great friends, friends who make it hard to say goodbye to, friends who I've worshiped together with and prayed and interceded together with. It's hard leaving the teachers who have pushed you to be your best and have given their all for you. And so it's going to be hard for me. I've learned and grown so much here at TDA. I've met God here multiple times and have heard him speak to me multiple times. Every year I've been here, I've grown closer and closer to him. I found so much identity within myself here, especially this year. I now understand why he's brought me here. Here I've overcome my fear. And in my life message, I talked about having no fear and having confidence. TDA has been a strong push for me to have no fear. I remember being scared to go up and do adoration. I would honestly dread it. Now I don't dread it. I actually really enjoy going up because there's a lot of freedom in adoring God, and I'm really thankful for you guys making us do that. And I'll carry that for the rest of my life. Throughout our foundation class, we talked about our giftedness. I thought that I wasn't going to have a lot of gifts, but mostly because I'm young still, but I had I thought I was going to have 2, but I had maybe 10, and I was like, wow. And as I was reading it, we had these packets that Miss Lee gave us, and so I was reading it, and the Holy Spirit was telling me, circle this and circle that. And when I was done circling all of them, I was amazed, not all of them, but some of them, I was amazed at some of the things I circled, because I was like, do I have this gift now? Do I really show this gift? But I just felt God say maybe not now, but soon. And we had to put all of our gifts on a diagram and attach everything. Oh my gosh, okay. And I finished and I looked at my diagram and almost all of my gifts were connected. And I was like, wow, God, you really knew what you were doing when you created me. And you just planned the life I'm living out. You planned the life that I'm living, and then it just corresponds so well with my gifts. And yeah. I've noticed, I've been able to have 2 internships, but I learned something different from each one. First one, I learned that I'm not going to do it, and maybe, but also I learned, and the second one I learned how badly I really want to help people. We had recently got prophesied over, and he prophesied to me about how I have healing and deliverance in me. After pondering and thinking about it and watching the operations at the internship, I remember feeling like I can't wait till those people can be healed and delivered from pain. I remember watching each patient before they were put under. I was thinking about how hard it must be to trust someone with your life, and they'll come back better and healthier and possibly free from pain. I want to be able to deliver people out of the pain and help them see that there's healing and peace. An ideal plan for me is to go to UMKC and join their nursing program to become an RN and then begin work in the medical field. Lately, though, I still have the urge to dance, so I have been talking to my parents and asking God for wisdom about what to do. If I want to pursue dancing and nursing, an option would be to join a community college and then take a few classes there and then join a dance company, preferably Sterling Conservatory. But this plan is still up in the air, still asking God for wisdom. I have faith that whatever I choose, God will still provide and guide me like he always does. I'm thankful for all of my teachers, thankful for Miss Jessie. Even though I didn't have you this year, I'm still thankful for the past years, and also thankful for Body Talks because the words were really touching, and I loved all of them, like each and every one of them. I'm also grateful for Mr. French. I'm grateful for his wisdom. And his view on life on God is just really inspiring to hear him talk about. I'm grateful for Mr. Collins, for his patience with my class and the grace he gives us, and his encouraging speeches to always strive after what we truly want in life. I'm grateful for Mr. Hibbs just for really preparing us for the world that we're about to walk into, and I feel bad now for only reading the Spark Notes for every book. And I promise I'll read more, hopefully. And then for Ms. Student for pushing me hard in geometry and not letting me give up. There's something about when your teachers want you to do better and know you can do better, and that makes you want to do better. Also for Coach for giving me a chance in soccer. It was the best short 2 months of high school that I really enjoyed. I enjoyed all of high school, but those are fun. And Mr. Lee, you're amazing. I don't have any classes with you, but we sometimes see you in foundations. But still, thanks for your guidance and counseling. And Miss Jasmine, you're amazing. Thanks for just talking to us and encouraging us daily. And Miss Lee, thank you for pushing us and pushing me to understand who I was and who God made me. Thank you for helping me realize that he's creating me with love and purpose. And last but not least, thank you to my parents, the originals and the makers, and the reason that I'm living, literally. I'm really grateful for you guys and for your constant support. Thanks for listening to me rant about my day every night, and thanks for not just being my parents, but also my best friends. And also pushing me to never settle for anything less and always work hard. Thanks for paying for school and all my point shoes and dance classes. I know it cost a lot. You guys are incredible. Also, thank you for watching Star Wars and Marvel movies with me at 12 o'clock. I love you guys 3,000. Okay. I'm beyond grateful for TDA. I could brag about this school to anyone and wouldn't run out of things to say. You changed my life, TDA. Thank you.
Well, Kristen, it's been so great to see you from freshman year in English, and just, you said it when you said that you were looking at your gifts and you were like, oh, I might have 2, and you end up having 10. And I just think about our conversation we had a few weeks ago where you were saying, Mr. Collings, I got so many things I want to do. How do I choose? And it's like, I think that's God's, it's his way of saying, Kristen, I've given you so many things you can do. And you haven't realized it, but now you're starting to realize it. And, that's his love for you and how he sees you. And I've just so enjoyed having you in class, and you're just patient. You're patient with Mr. Collings when he's extolling his love for President Trump in front of the class. And, I see you back there going, oh, Mr. Collings. And, you're patient with me, and you're patient with your classmates, and, you're a great friend. And, just like I told you when we were talking about, what you want to do next, that do all of it and just choose, because, the Lord, I think, is waiting for you to choose, and then he's going to take you. And then you're going to do the rest of the stuff, in his time.
Thank you.
Kristen, the Lord has given you a voice. Speak up. I know you've talked about how nervous you get in front of people, and that may never go away. That may be something that when you have to get up and speak in front of people, it always makes you nervous, but you have a voice, and people listen. I got to watch all year long as, your peers would just hang on every word that you said. It was remarkable to me to see just the anointing that the Lord has put on your voice. Speak up. Don't be afraid to lean into that.
Yeah, it's funny. When I pray for you, I've got this, it seems like such a dorky thing to say, but it's like a firecracker. Like you are packed with power. And the Lord is going to do great things with the power that he packed in you. And I agree with Mr. Hibbs, the voice that you have, like you are careful with your words and yet they mean something. So speak.
I saw this picture of you climbing onto a catapult launcher and then launching yourself. And I was like, that's crazy. And it's funny that you're talking about fearless, like having fear, but now living without it. And so I just want to kind of confirm that. Like there's an adventure coming that you're going to live fearlessly. You're an only child. I'm an only child. We're special. The world really revolves right around us. And just keep living like just adventure and fearlessness. It's amazing.
All right, Kristen, I've loved watching you grow so beautiful. Like I feel like your beauty has become stronger and bolder as you've come to know the Lord more. It's just really just beautiful. I'm so proud of you. When I pray for you, I actually see you pouring your alabaster oil at the feet of Jesus. You have seen the worth of Jesus, and you gladly pour everything at his feet, and you have moved his heart to no end. And continue to pour all your gifts at his feet, waste it. Go extravagant, pour it at his feet, because it's not a waste, and you know that. And to the point where disciples will say, why are you bothering? Disciples will be bothered, like, by why are you, pouring all this extravagance at this? What are you doing? But Jesus' word to his disciples when they were bothered by Mary pouring out her oil was, why are you bothering this woman? She has done a beautiful thing to me. And what she has done will also be told in memory of her. And so continue to pursue Jesus with your whole heart and pour your most prized gifts at his feet. It will never be a waste, but a beautiful thing before the Lord. And you just bring him so much joy. Love you, Kristen. Faith Formby.
My dove in the clefts of the rock and the hiding places on the mountainside, let me see your face, let me hear your voice, for your voice is sweet and your face is lovely. Song of Songs 2:14. This is definitely one of my favorite verses and one that always reminds me of my journey that I've had with the Lord. From my life message, as many of you have heard, I've been learning more of how blessed I am to be his bride, how blessed I am to be clean and to have his love as the foundation of my life. Jesus has taught me resilience, trust, where am I at? Totally lost my place, and gratitude through these years. When reflecting on this, I realized that God has taken me on a journey so much that I felt like I was thumbing through each layer the Lord has laid down over my life. It was really cool. And personality is another factor that we have learned about. While being adamant, I was 100% a type 4. What can I say? I like to know I'm special. I discovered that the aspects of a type 2 and a type 7 are also just as essential to me. Honestly, I'm still learning exactly where I fit in regards to my Enneagram type, but I'm ready to find out more. And one thing I learned with our Venn diagram project was that one of my core desires is the desire for excellence, which bleeds into many other moving parts of myself. I also began to expand on my horizons on what I could potentially pursue when I interned with Olivia Buckles. She's a local worship leader here at IHOP. I don't know if you guys know her, but she's a very cool gal. In order to learn the ropes of prophetic singing. And I also learned the importance of preparation in the body and in the spiritual, and that it runs so much deeper than any natural ability we may have. It gave me a wider scope for the profession and helped solidify my values and what I wanted to do first after I graduated. So I thought to deepen my relationship with the Lord, to make my foundation in him as strong as I can as I climb into adulthood, I would lean towards attending IHOPU. That is my plan right now. I have still been considering pursuing architecture at KU, but I believe pursuing him first for my first act of unprohibited freedom is most important to me right now. God has taught me all about timing and trust this year. Not only to hear his word in his heart, but to trust that everything that he does so that it will go well with me. I give my profuse gratitude to my mom and dad, who gave me the freedom to choose and have given me just an absolute stellar amount of support and guidance along the way. They aren't counselors for nothing, you know. And thank you to my grandmothers, who were the quiet pillars in the back, rooting me on, holding me up with adoration only grandmothers can give for their grandchildren. I also thank my sister, Lauren, who brought out the fire in me and elevated my confidence even further, pushing me out of my comfort zone again and again. I thank my teachers as well for never just being teachers, but mentors and even family. Thank you all for planting seeds of dreams in my heart and giving me the courage to race to them. And finally, thank you, Lord, for never forsaking me. Even in times I felt too busy to be with you, you never stopped and will never stop telling me how much you love me and how much you will never let me go.
Faith, I am so glad that you've been here the past couple of years. I've so enjoyed getting to know you, having you in class, and just, your sense of humor, your talking me into having drinks on a day that wasn't a drink day, and, just being a friend to everyone and kind and compassionate. And, when you were talking about finding out from the Lord that you're the bride, his bride, I really feel like you're close to his heart. I feel like you can hear him. There have been a couple times the past couple of years where you've written, it might have been prayer cards, I can't remember, but you've written prophetic stuff for me that was right on. And so I started to think about your art, that you're so artistic and your prophetic gift too, that I believe those two are going to go together. And I know you're going to use it in music too, but think about your art and the prophetic going together as you draw. And so I just really believe the Lord is going to do that.
Faith, you have a gift for writing. Use that the rest of your life. I heard like 2 Timothy 1:7, the Lord has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of sound mind. I feel like the Lord proclaims that over you. I feel like he's given you a mother's heart. The Lord has gifted you with many things, many things. Seek him first. Seek him first and ask him how to use those things for his glory.
I kid you not, when I was praying for you, I wrote the words wise mother. So there you go. You're so smart. Like, your brain is so analytical. I think it's really fascinating to me that you are going back and forth between studying architecture and going to IHOP-U. Like, there's like, if there's ever sort of two things that look like you have to really turn one or the other. But I want to encourage you, do both. I don't mean do both exactly. What I mean is the dance of analytical thinking and spiritual growth, they go together. They're not one or the other. You can and will encounter the Lord analytically, and you can and will encounter the Lord in a purely sort of less structured environment. And you will encounter the Lord when you don't understand what's going on, when your analytical brain can't figure out what's happening. All of those are opportunities to see more of who God is, just with different sort of facets, different kind of reflections. Don't begrudge the one for the other. It's a beautiful dance. And motherhood, I don't know what this mother thing is. I think it's interesting that we both said it. I see you in these last couple of years caring for your classmates in a beautiful, beautiful, profound way. And I think you have some wisdom that will bless and nurture those around you. And there will be a dance of, I totally understand what's wrong or the challenge and the way out, and you'll have it, but you'll also not be able to say it because the Spirit will tell you to say something else, right? And I feel like that dance is a dance that you're learning to dance and will continue to grow in, if that makes sense. So bless you in that. That's really cool.
Faith, we bagged a lot of leaves together on Lions Week, so I know you can work hard. I love that excellence is like who you are and what you want to be. It's a pillar of our school, so I'm so happy that you would be taking that into the world. The world can definitely do with a little more excellence. So whether that's at architecture school or at IHOP-U, I'm super excited to see you change people with just being excellent.
Faith, you've been such a gift to our school. I love the way you strive for excellence in the smallest details. I love how you push yourself and others to do better. I love how hungry you were for the Lord when you first came here, and how still you are very hungry, and how you continue to love and desire him. I've seen you grow tremendously in your spiritual disciplines, and I know you will be grounded when you graduate. Journaling, reading the word, prayer cards, my heart is so full. What an honor it is for me to have you in class. As you've talked about your name, I also want to highlight your name. Hebrews 11:6, and without faith it is impossible to please God. As you have been steady with your spiritual disciplines, may you have the faith to launch when the Lord asks you to. May you take steps outside of your comfort zone when the Lord highlights steps for you. I believe that you are going to soar as you follow these urges that he puts on you. You will see amazing miracles like feeding 5,000 with 2 fish and 5 loaves. You will walk on water. You will see amazing healings. May your faith increase so much in the next season that we can hardly recognize you. I just feel that that you please the Lord, and he's about to take you on a really exciting journey. Love you, Faith. Bless you. And Jeremiah Arthur again.
I know Trinity always says best for last, but you guys are really the best that I think there is. I love you guys. Junior high and high school are some of the most developmental years of your life, and the adults in your life and the friends that you choose to put yourself around will really shape the rest of your life. Whether for the better or for the worse is up to you. I've gone to this school since 6th grade. Many people in my class have gone even longer than that. And some psychologists say that friendships that last 7 years will last a lifetime. I know for sure that this is true. Whether it's a tangible relationship or the impact you guys have had on my life, I promise you it'll last forever. And I'll never forget it. The people at this school have changed my life. Every teacher, every student, every seemingly pointless class, like personal finance, is full of memories and growth that I couldn't possibly have imagined. I began to learn who I was at this school, and it's not something that I take lightly. There are many people in their later years of life who still have no idea who they are or who they want to be. I'm not saying that I haven't figured out yet, but if any group of people have had the foundation to begin to, we all have. I know I constantly bring up the teachers here, but you guys have had such an impact on my life. So, Mrs. Jessie, thank you for helping me to want to be the best that I can be. Thank you for seeing the potential in me, even when I didn't want to see it in myself. Thank you for teaching me to live excellently through the hardest things. Your leadership and friendship has truly changed my life. Mr. Collings, thank you for showing me what being free and who I am looks like. Thank you for how you've taught me to let myself be exactly where I'm at, while at the same time always going for growth. Thank you especially for just being a friend, always being willing and always making time to talk. You never made me feel like an inconvenience, even whenever I knew I was. That's something I could never repay. Mr. Hibbs, thank you for helping me learn who I want to be. Thank you for all the ways you've loved me and loved my class so well, no matter how much we make fun of you. Thank you for teaching us the importance of doing well in everything we do, especially the little things. I'm so glad to have you for the last couple of years. Mr. and Mrs. Lee, thank you for putting up with me during foundations this year. Thank you for helping me see the importance of putting your thoughts together in one place so you can really reflect. You guys have helped me see how I've changed through all the years at TDA and how I can build other people up using that. Thank you guys so much. Then to my parents, thank you for always being there, even when being there looked like giving me space to figure things out on my own. Thank you for all the rides to and from school, the countless hours praying for me that I didn't even see. You guys have been so steadily supportive of any dream that I have, so thank you so much for that. It's something I could never repay. To anyone I didn't mention, I promise you, each and every one of you have changed my life in some way. Thank you. Next year, I'm going to go to UMKC and majoring in biology with an emphasis on biotechnology. After getting some core classes done, I plan on transferring somewhere with a biomedical engineering program so I can get my bachelor's degree in biomedical engineering, and then I'm hoping to get into med school and pursue a doctor of medicine degree after that.
I don't think I can let you guys go. It's just going to be too hard for Mr. Collings. Jeremiah, you are never an inconvenience. I have had so much fun talking to you, over the years and this year. And, you talk about me, helping you understand your freedom. And I've had such a great time seeing you live in freedom. Freedom in Christ, and just, being yourself, and, hearing what I had to say and then living it out. And it's just been so amazing for me. And, this year, you just hearing the Lord, hearing him clearly. That has been fantastic. And I think, the bonus has been that you're hearing him and you know that he loves you unconditionally, and you don't have to change anything. I mean, that's been fantastic for me to witness. And so, I could go on and on here, but you've been great in class. You're a great student. You're great in English, and you're great in all my classes. You're a great friend, to your classmates, loyal, and listening to them the way I listen to you guys. So it's just been wonderful having you in class. And I know this isn't going to end, like you said, the relationships are going to keep going. And you're going to do amazing things, and I just can't wait to see what the Lord does in you and hear all the stuff that he's telling you, when you come back and talk to me about it. Jeremiah,
I feel like the Lord wants to give you the confidence that Peter had that we've talked about. The confidence that you know that you love him beyond a shadow of a doubt. I think the Lord has given that to you, and he's growing that in you right now. But I also want to I want to say, one of the things that I've seen in you is there's nothing that is unquestionable. And you like to ask questions. You like to push on things. That's not bad. It's not bad. And that doesn't mean that you don't have faith. And there's people that will tell you, you have to have the blind faith. And, Thomas said, I won't believe until I see, until I touch. And Jesus didn't rebuke him for that. He's like, here, touch. It's okay. It is okay to question. It's okay to push back on things. There's not too fine a line between where you're just being skeptical and when you're having discernment, where you're questioning it. And I think you'll find that. You know where that is. Don't be afraid to question. And don't be afraid to have faith at the same time. And don't let anyone ever tell you that you have to choose.
I just want to say congratulations on Thursday. Was it Tuesday morning? I'll get it right. You pulled an entirely intact brain out of the head of a rat. You did that very, very well.
Thank you.
I was very impressed. Congratulations. And I say this actually because you have an eye for detail, the little things. I mean, everybody had to pull the brain out of a rat in my class, and you helped Lorenzo do it, and yours was clearly the most intact brain. And I think that when I saw that, because I had to take pictures of them all, look at me, it was amazing to me the amount of detail and the attention to detail that you had to pay in order to pull that out. And I thought, that's just so Jeremiah. Like, you pay attention to the details, every little thing. And that is an excellent gift. It actually is wonderful prep for when you do become a real surgeon and you have to put the brain back in again. But also, I love the way your faith walks out, paying attention to the details. You pay attention to the details of the needs of your friends. You pay attention to the details of the things that you say. You pay attention to the detail of the hurts that you might have caused. I've seen you repent quickly. Oh, I stepped left there when I should have stepped right, and I'm sorry. And I've seen you do that. And I think that attention to detail is something that God really smiles upon. Obviously, you do it in math class. But I really want to bless that you have a very sharp vision, and you see very little details that other people are like, close enough. You're like, let's get to the detail. And I think that's really beautiful. And I just really want to bless you in that. And I think that sets you up well, not only in your career, but also as a man of God. You will be a good husband. You will be a good father with that kind of attention to detail. And you will see the Lord more clearly as you ask him which way to go, to the right or to the left. He will speak to you, and you'll be guided by that. So bless you in that. I think it's a really, really beautiful thing.
Jeremiah, I saw you carrying like this standard, this flag. And I was just really felt like, and maybe this goes with some of what the other teachers have shared, just about you pushing back sometimes and being a little bit hesitant and trying to figure things out from afar. But as you take these steps into adulthood and you connect and encounter the Lord, and he begins to lead you, I feel like you're going to find something that you're going to be like, wow, this is totally worth living for and dying for. And it's going to be exciting to see you give yourself to God's purposes and see where that takes you. So I'm excited.
All right, Jeremiah. I love the journey of getting to know you. I love the talks that we've had, and I love seeing you reach out to the Lord. I love that you've touched the source of life, and I love that you've locked eyes with him. I want to encourage you to keep looking into him, keep looking at him, into his eyes. He will strengthen you in areas you didn't even know you needed strengthening. As you look into his eyes, let yourself be tender and vulnerable to him. You have no idea what he's about to do with you as you open yourself regularly to him like that. You truly are a tender warrior, as Ed Hackett and team had said. You are sensitive to others, you see others, and you fight for them. And again, Jesus is the ultimate tender warrior. Let him show you his heart for those around you, and may you be a carrier of his heart for others. He will allow you to feel and know things you've never seen before. And he wants to show you strategies on how to fight for him. It's his strategies. As you enter into a friendship partnership with Jesus for those around you, you will be amazed at how lives will be changed. I love your tender heart. I love the way you fight for justice. I'm excited for what the Lord has ahead for you. I think it's gonna blow all of us away. Bless you. Wow. Good job, guys. Thank you, everyone, for sitting through all of this. And as you guys can see, this is an amazing, amazing senior class. They've made such a mark in our school. They've led the school so well. We're going to miss them a ton. So come to their graduation on Saturday, 2 p.m., celebrate them. Let's go ahead and stand. We're just going to pray. We're going to just give everything back to the Lord, okay? Jesus, we just stand before you, and we're just in awe of the things that you've done with these 10 graduates of our school. We're in awe of the amazing stuff that's come out of them, even today as they were highlighting and sharing the things that you've done in their hearts. We just thank you. Thank you for being so faithful. Thank you for being so committed to every one of them. And we know that you will continue to be faithful in their life. We know that you will continue to walk them into the next steps that you have for them. And so we can put them into your hands, the one who is faithful, faithful to complete the good work that you've begun in every one of these seniors. Jesus, we just love them so much, and we love what you've done with them. And we just give you all of the glory, all of the things that they've shared, all of the things that they've accomplished, all of the things that they've have achieved and have victory over. We just lay those things at your feet and just say, this is all for you. We worship you and we bless you. We thank you for this time of just honoring you. And we pray that you were exalted and that your heart is blessed. We pray all of these things in Jesus' name. Amen.